Hi everyone. Amy from Don't Just Think It, Do Yoga. Namaste, namaskar, bonjour, buonasera, hello. How else do you say hi? Willkommen, no, it's like welcome. I don't know, how do you say hi in German? Anyway, um, I can't remember. Oh, excusez-moi. So, today I want to talk about a term called Artha. It is Artha. Art and ha. So basically, I just want to talk about Artha, and I'm going to give you the definition from the Encyclopedia Britannica because I think it's very interesting, but that is really the basic thing. So it says, quote, material well-being is a basic necessity of man and is his appropriate pursuit while a householder. That is, during the second of the four life stages. Furthermore, Artha, as the pursuit of material advantage, is closely tied to the activities of statecraft, which maintains the general social order and prevents anarchy. But as the immoderate pursuit of material advantage would lead to undesirable and ruinous excesses, Artha must always be regulated by the superior aim of dharma or righteousness. So they're defining dharma as righteousness here, which dharma is, I think, a little more complicated than that. But also, Artha is more complicated than just being about material well being. So, there were merely, so now I'm going to just tell you my part. Okay. So, in that definition, we're mainly concerned with the basics of Artha as it relates to a distinct person in the scheme of society, right? So, that means that essentially resources and activities of material life can relate to earning money. So it's wealth, career from which you make a living. Artha is also defined as treasury and that which is desired. So, desires, wealth, material well being. Money, wealth, and accumulation of it becomes a sticky subject, though, for many people who who have a long held belief that to be spiritual, you should not accumulate wealth or live a material life. Except that's not realistic. We live in a material world with rules, and we all agreed upon how money works. Even if you're not, like, you're born into this system already, so maybe you're thinking, oh, I didn't agree to it. Yes, you did. Your forefathers, your ancestors, they agreed to it, and this is how it does. We're not bartering with our neighbors like we used to. I mean, you could still do that, and you can help each other, which would be awesome. But we're not also all trying to become religious or philosophical ascetics that are going out into a cave to contemplate the cosmos and become like gurus or whatever. It's just not what we're doing. You know, you're a person, you're on the planet, you need money, you got to buy food. I mean, maybe you can grow some of your own food. Maybe you live in a place where you grow all your own food. But let's face it, you're probably not growing all your own food. You need shit. You got to buy it. And so we all agreed that a piece of paper or different coins would be symbolic of money. And now it's mostly with debit cards. Anyway, so most spiritual seekers are living in a functioning, they're living and functioning in society and they're using money. So to give your services away for free because it's spiritual is not okay. I mean, if you want to help people when they don't have the resources, that's fine. But you're not supposed to live a deprived life because you're a spiritual person and you're helping someone. If you have the means already to, then feel free to do that. But you can't live in poverty or be suffering or struggling because you just want to help people and be a good person. That's not spiritual. That's just being impractical. So, and it's being weird martyry kind of stuff too, which is, oh, I'm so poor, but I just want to help people. I'm a martyr. No, you're not a fucking martyr. You're not a victim. You're a person who is going to help people, and you're going to be either paid for it or you're going to work another job to have some money and do that on the side, whatever it is. But let's not be fucking martyrs, okay? So that's a huge thing. And I know there are people who even think too, like, oh, well, if you're teaching spiritual things, like even the recipients of that sometimes feel like they shouldn't be paying a lot. Well, no, that's not how the economy works. So now that I'm off of my high horse on that, that brings me to a definition that I read of Artha that induced a feeling of positivity about living a spiritual and a material life simultaneously. And in fact, in my own mind, I said, yes, that's it. That puts it all together for me when it comes to experiencing an abundant life with money, with wealth, with the means to fulfill your purpose, your dharma. So that definition was in David Frawley's book called Mantra Yoga and Primal Sound, and it makes so much sense to me. He succinctly says this about Artha. So I will just quote unquote, okay? So Artha, the achievement of necessary goals and objects, including wealth and property, to facilitate one's dharma. And this is where he gets it right. How can you live your life's purpose and be giving to others? I mean, if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, like Esther, she often talks about this too. You're only hurting yourself and you're not able to really truly give from a pure heart when you are not having an abundant life. And I'm not saying that you have to be greedy and have to have like a Mercedes or whatever. Of course, a Mercedes is nice, but no, you can have an abundant life with all that you need without being greedy. Like it's possible. So, incidentally, dharma, if you haven't heard of that term, well, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, but it's called one of the, and I'm just going to, I'm not great at some of the Sanskrit pronunciations, but it's called the Purusharthas, Purusharthas, and it's the four aims of life. So, so, so dharma in a more commonly way that it is used. It means your work, your duty, your vocation, your primary purpose, your responsibility to yourself, your family, and society. So that is the basics of Artha. And so I think I'm going to put this in a playlist called What Is That? Where I'm just going to answer certain terms and questions. And I'd love to know what you think about that, because the common belief is that you must choose spirituality or materialism, and that simply is not true. You don't need to choose one over the other. And you can live and enjoy both simultaneously with your inner being and outer being in harmony. Two things can be simultaneously true. I mean, let's face it, Advaita is like the non-duality. Like you can be a spiritual person and you can have have material things. You do not have to separate them.